will jump against Smith.
I got a strong feeling that Smith will get the tip. I'd bet on that one if I was a betting man.
If Simla can get up above Smith, gives away about 5 inches to him, we might be looking at another college scholarship. Coach Turgeon down there might just walk one out there and talk to this junior.
One thing for sure, you know, Goretti's going to come to play, and we're going to refer to Goretti and Mount St. Joe the most because, as you said, both teams are the Gales, so we can't say the Gales scored every time.
Joe, I'll bet that the Gales win this game.
And they'll lose, too.
They're good.
All right, Tyree Myers brings the ball up for St. Joe. Gets a screen outside by Bishop.
Goretti's in a man-to-man.
Bishop. And he hits the little lefty running jumper.
Nice little left-handed crossover into the lane and got the floater to fall.
First score of the game, 7:35 to go in the first quarter. Goretti with the ball on the other end. We're going to call Abdu because he's got that long last name, Simbola. Jumper outside is good, and that's by Golick. And that's not the guy that's on ESPN either. That's Presney Golick. That's not Mike Golick. And St. Joe the other way now.
When Goretti is on, it's the outside shooting that carries them.
That was a trade. They're up 3-2, and there's an outside shot from Jalen Smith, believe it or not.
What touch from a 6'10" basketball player.
And he gives St. Joe the lead at 5-3 with 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Inside again, it's Abdu, and it falls in. It's 5-5.
Nice post play there by Simba. He was going one-on-one with Smith and didn't get the shot block, turned around and made some space and put it in.
Myers gets it into Jalen, and a whistle.
Jalen goes to the line, Joe. He takes a lot of punishment on the inside there.
You know, if he gets these calls early, if he gets whistled, if the other team gets whistled for fouling him early, things would likely go St. Joe's way. But if they don't call the fouls inside, it's a struggling night. And he hits the first one. He's very accurate from the free throw line. As you said, for a big man, he's got a great touch. 6:41 to go in the first quarter. Jalen misses the second. Mount St. Joe has a 1-point lead. Reddy gets it inside, kicks it to the corner. Jumper's no good. Bishop gets the rebound. Matt Rogers took that shot.
And Myers in the corner.
Here's Bishop in close, misses, gets his rebound, puts it back up.
That's Tim McDonald.
I'm sorry, Tim McDonald. That's Bishop outside now with the jumper, and it's good from 3.
5 early points for Bishop. He scored 30 in that semifinal loss to John Carroll. Single-handedly brought the Gales back in the fourth quarter to push it into overtime.
Blakeney outside is 23 for Goretti. They get it inside. Little hook shot's no good, and Jalen Smith grabs the rebound. St. Joe leads 9-5. 5:30 to go in the first. Kicks it inside to McDonald. Lays it up, no good. Tap, no good. Goretti with the rebound.
Even though that shot didn't fall, it shows another aspect of Jalen Smith's game. He can pass the basketball.
Goretti turns the ball over. St. Joe gets it back. Got a chance to extend 9-5 lead. People that have been watching the games tell me, Gare, we're keep on telling the score and the time as often as we can. So
yes, absolutely. We don't have a clear shot at the scoreboard.
9-5 St. Joe with 5:10 to go in the first quarter. Tyree Myers is number 5. It's Jalen Smith in the corner. Kicks it back out. Jumper is good. That's Kendall McMillan. A 3 from McMillan.
The announcer credited to Myers. Not sure. PA announcer. But it was number 3? Number one. Kendall McMillan, okay. All right, that was a quick timeout here by Goretti. They're down by 7 here in the early going. 12-5 with 4:50 to play. What are you seeing so far, Joe?
Oh, St. Joe's cruising. You know, when you pull away with a quick 12-5 lead, with just 3 minutes into the game, they're doing what they want to do. I think the key to these initial possessions was Jalen hitting a 3. If he's on from anywhere outside the arc, he's going to be trouble for anybody.
He has 4 early points, and Bishop has 5. And, of course, McMillan with that 1-3. For Goretti, Presmek Golek has 3, and Simbola has a bucket.
McMillan's still out there on the floor wearing number 1. Tim McDonald's number 30 for St. Joe. Goretti with the ball. Golek is number 20.
Golek hit that nice 3 in the first minute.
Blakeney's 23.
Nice drive by Blakeney. Just didn't get the ball to roll across the rim.
Now St. Joe racing down the floor. Kicks in the corner to Bishop. He's deadly from out there. They're looking to get it inside. Bishop shoots deep and misses everything.
It's off the mark that time. Nice job by Myers to get the rebound in the corner, but the ball gets turned over.
Blakeney steals it.
Golek there for the follow. He scores 12-7. Mount St. Joe over Goretti. 4:04 to play first quarter.
And McMillan's getting a lot of playing time right now, Gary.
He's an effective rebounder, and as we saw in the John Carroll MIA playoff game, he scored 8 points in the third quarter directly after
there's the reason
Jalen Smith left the game.
He just hit another jumper. 14-7 now with 3:38 to go in the first quarter. And Goretti the other way. St. Joe in white, Goretti in black. Josh Mack is number 4 outside for Goretti.
18 seconds on the shot clock, 3:20 now to play in the first quarter.
Inside, off the board, no good. The putback is good, and that's Abdul
Simbola.
14-9, St. Joe with the lead. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Semifinal Baltimore Catholic League Championship game at Goucher College.
Goretti switched out of the man, and they're in a 2-3 zone.
Inside, Jalen misses. Goretti's got the rebound.
That zone does make it easier for them to collapse on Jalen.
Josh Mack brings the ball up the floor. And they're running the motion. Trying to get somebody open in the lane. There's the outside jumper is good. And that's Golek.
It's his second 3 of the night. He's got 8 points. He's the leading scorer in the game right now.
He just cut the lead to 2. It's 14-12. Mount St. Joe with 2:20 to go in the first quarter.
What we see in these basketball games, high school, college, and pro, it's a game of runs.
Skip pass, top of the key, swings it to the right. Bishop to the lane, back to McMillan. McMillan drives. Jalen with the
nice defense there by Simbola. He challenged McMillan in the paint, altered that shot.
Jalen couldn't get the handle. And Goretti with a chance to tie or take the lead. 1:52 to go now in the first quarter. That's Edwards, by the way, number 10.
Nice defensive play by McMillan, but he's called for the hold. Momentarily had the steal and then lost the handle on the basketball and committed the foul. Big possession here for Goretti. They can tie or take the lead with 1:44 to play in the first quarter.
Golek will inbounds the ball to try to get it in the corner. In all likelihood, Edwards has it back into Abdu. In and out. And a whistle.
Joe Wilsykes, a sophomore that you really like, is on the floor for the first time for St. Joe.
I think that's a good move. Pat Clatchy does a good job of inserting him. Try to help Jalen underneath. Goretti inbounds the ball. Edwards is number 10. They're spreading out, trying to get that jumper back in the hands of Golek if they can. Inside, bucket is good. by number 30, and that's Abdul again, and it's 14-14. So just that quick, already cut the lead.
Simbla really has some nice post moves. He went against the youngster Sykes there and had no problem getting the ball in the hoop.
And Goretti's now playing an extended 2-3 zone. Jumper outside by St. Joe is no good. Sykes has it, puts it back. Didn't know whether he wanted to shoot it or not. Almost walked. In any event, he missed the shot.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to pass the ball outside. Didn't have anybody to hand it off to, so he just went up with the shot.
Myers will inbound the ball for St. Joe. Look for him to try to get it into Smith inside.
Matt Rogers is on the court for Goretti, number 15.
I would look for Will Sykes maybe to set a screen for Jalen and get him loose, come across the lane and maybe hit a lefty.
Blakeney also comes back in.
Outside to Bishop, inside to Smith, back at the foul line, jumper, no good.
Jalen wasn't set when he took that shot. Good
Edwards
defense.
Got the rebound, and he's got the ball. Rashawn Edwards for Goretti at the point. 40 seconds now to go in the first quarter. 14-14 tie. Jumper from the top. Goretti almost had their first lead, but it went awry. This is Bishop.
Game clock and shot clock are just half a second apart. 26 seconds to play.
Well, you know they're going to play for one shot, no doubt about it. I would let Sykes and Smith reverse themselves on the blocks and get it into Jalen for a layup. That's Crawley takes it to the bucket.
Nice looking freshman.
8 seconds to go in the quarter. Now it's down to 5. Are they going to get the shot off? Are they aware of the clock? And it's blocked anyway by Bishop. First quarter ends tied at 14.
Yeah, they left the ball in the hands of Rashawn Edwards. St. Joe did a good job of isolating him, and he had to take the shot. So good first quarter. It's 14-14 after one, Joe.
Can't count Goretti out. They made a nice comeback once again.
So in the first quarter, Golak led all scorers for Goretti. Had 2 3-pointers and 8 points. Simbla had 6 points. St. Joe, McMillan had 5. And Jalen Smith had 4. And James Bishop had 5.
You know, what I think Coach Clatchy's probably telling his team right now is get the ball into Jalen. Just get the ball inside. And it'll change everything. And we'll see what happens. They started with Jalen hitting a couple buckets, and then they've gone away from that. They got to go back to it to regain the lead.
When Goretti went to that zone, it really cut opportunities off for Jalen. Jalen didn't get as many looks at that point.
Like we often say, Gary, when these teams switch up like that, all these high school teams, in fact, a lot of college teams, well, they run their offenses based on man playing. And when you go to a zone, they can't run that set piece that they always want to run, no matter what level it is. And it's no reason. It's you know why the NBA doesn't allow zone defenses, because they want to see more scoring. And when you're in a zone, it spreads them on the floor more. They got to shoot deeper. They can't run their stuff and get cutters open as often as you can when you're being guarded man to man. Goretti brings it in to start the second quarter. 14-14. Baltimore Catholic League semifinal, first game of 2 here at Goucher. Second game we'll see John Carroll going against St. Francis. For Goretti, inside jumper is no good. Rebound back in the hands.
Matt Rogers.
Yep, good play both. And he's only a sophomore, Gary. Nice play by Matt.
As we said, Goretti only has one senior on the team.
And they have just taken their first lead of the night.
16-14. 7:28 to play in the second quarter.
Up top, Tyree Myers. He can score. That's a Soracalli, number 33. Bishop is 10. Big jump shot. No good. He hasn't found his rhythm yet, but he will. Here comes Goretti.
He had a 3 in the first quarter, but his last couple shots have been off the mark.
Driving and a whistle. And Goretti's going to go to the line.
That's Blakeney.
And he's a good shooter. Good, pure shooter. 7:03 to go in the second quarter. And Goretti leads 16 to 14.
RJ Blakeney is shooting the second of 2 free throws. Substitution for St. Marie Goretti. Checking in number 20, Shevin Goy, replaces number 15.
First free throw bounded out. Joe, we talked about it last week, the difficulty that high school teams face when they come into these bigger gyms.
It's a lot of adjustment because the walls are just not as close to the backboard as they are in the high school gyms. And it's tougher to shoot at that hanging basket. You got to get used to it. St. Joe the other way. Now they're down by 3 points. Crawley outside. They're spread. They got a spread offense now. But
Crawley, a freshman that Coach Pat Clatchy called up from the JV a few games into the season, has really made a difference in the depth in their backcourt.
There's the three.
That's Myers. Fading away in the corner.
Tied up again, Gary, 17 to 17, 6:25 to go, second quarter. And a whistle.
Searcy's three-point attempt did not fall, and then Goretti was called for the foul, attempting to rebound. 6:17 to play, second quarter. Got a good one going, 17 to 17. Mount St. Joe and St. Maria Goretti, the first of 2 semifinal games tonight from Goucher College. We'll have both here on VarsitySportsNetwork.com, and we will also bring you tomorrow's championship game right here from Goucher College.
And it's a 3 o'clock tip-off tomorrow.
Good, I can sleep in.
Yeah, a fat chance of that. You'll be up till 4 in the morning putting scores up on the board on the Varsity Sports Network site.
Yeah, we have all the boys and girls state regional finals this weekend as well.
Bishop is number 10. He kicks it out. They swing it over to Crawley. No good.
Ball comes out to McMillan.
They got to get it into jail, and they're tying him up inside. I'd bring him out to the high post. And a blocked shot by number 30 there. Abdul again for Goretti. And St. Joe gets it back, and Bishop puts it in.
McMillan made a nice steal down on the baseline, fed it to Bishop. Big points for St. Joe. They lead 19-17.
5:28 to go in the first half. Varsity Sports Network here at Goucher College, bringing you 2 semifinal Baltimore Catholic League championship games.
We've been dabbling more and more. Big block for Jalen Smith. Crawley pulls it out. Bishop.
If Bishop starts scoring, they'll take off. He lays it in, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line.
Bishop went to the rim with aggression there, Joe. We got the foul and got the basket. What I was saying, we've been dabbling more and more in live broadcasting at Varsity Sports Network. Over the last several weeks, we've brought you a handful of games on Facebook Live, and now with our partnership with Social Red Dog Media, we're bringing these games live right on our website. If you like what Varsity Sports Network does, we sure would appreciate subscribing to our website. It's $4.99 a month, and heck, you can't buy a daily newspaper for less than $1, so $4.99 a month for everything that we do. I think it's a bargain, right, Joe?
Absolutely. Bishop missed the free throw, and lead is still just 3. There's the outside jumper for Goretti, and that's Blakeney. He's a junior, and it's 21-19.
Nice touch on that shot.
4:43 to go in the first half.
College coaches have to love that kid's form.
Haven't seen anybody doing any incredible pressure defense yet when the ball's coming inbounds.
They're all playing it safe. No pressure on the other end of the defensive end of the court. It's just all on half court. Smith off the mark, but Bishop get the rebound, and his foul is no good, right, Joe?
And a whistle. Let's see what the call is.
I think they're calling Goretti out of bounds on the rebound. It's the ball staying with St. Joe.
You are correct. Tyree Myers inbounds for St. Joe, gets it out to Smith. Tries to fire it inside, but
tipped
it's
away.
Deflected by Abdu.
So far, Goretti's been very disciplined with their defense, protecting the passing lanes. It's anything St. Joe's getting, it's not coming easy.
There's Bishop from the corner, and good. Another 3 by James Bishop.
Bishop,
24-19 now.
Bishop's heating up. He's got 7 points here in the second quarter.
4 minutes to go in the first half. St. Joe with a 5-point lead. Inside jumper. Nice looking shot by Abdul for Goretti. Cuts it to 3. It's 24-21. 3:51 now to go in the second quarter. And a good crowd is on hand already for this first game. Smith, they've been tying him up pretty good. Crawley goes in. It comes off the rim. Goretti grabs the rebound. Racing down the floor is Josh Mack. Kicks it outside to Edwards. And they lose the handle.
Just a miscommunication there. I think Edwards thought Blakeney was going to go towards the baseline, and he stayed where he stayed put, and the ball just never reached him.
24-21, 3:19 to go, second quarter. The first semifinal Baltimore Catholic League championship game tonight. Bishop from NBA deep is no good. Goretti gets the rebound. Edwards. Blakeney. Edwards.
Simba.
And they lose the handle.
Lost the handle on the basketball.
Substitution checking in for St. Goretti. Number 5, James Sears.
2:56 to play, second quarter. Mount St. Joe leads St. Maria Goretti 24-21. First semifinal game of the Baltimore Catholic League tournament at Goucher College.
James Searcy, number 5, checked into the game for Goretti. One thing you pointed out is Alsor Crawley, the freshman guard, getting a lot of playing time. Pat Clatch's got a lot of confidence in him. There goes Smith to the bucket, and it's good.
Sure, that time down the court, Goretti switched back to the man-to-man, and Jalen Smith recognized it right away, took his man to the hole.
St. Joe with a 5-point lead now with 2:26 to go in the second quarter. 26-21. Goretti inside, layup, and Smith got a piece of it. Deflected, though, off of Goretti. Mount St. Joe will get the ball.
That's his third block of the game. They're driving in. They would hope to get him in foul trouble, but Jalen Smith is very adept at blocking shots and keeping his body away from the man.
Now Goretti
very
switched
rarely
up
gets
to
in
a
foul trouble.
1-2-2 zone, tried to pressure the ball, bringing it in, but they couldn't really stop the flow. St. Joe misses a corner shot from Tyree Myers. Whistle underneath, Goretti ball.
It was a good ball movement by Mount St. Joe. Myers was wide open on the wing, just a little strong with his shot, but St. Joe will take that look all night long.
26-21, 2 minutes to go in the first half. First semifinal Baltimore Catholic League championship game tonight at Goucher College. Brought to you by the Varsity Sports Network and our partner, Social Red Dog Media. Kicks it to the corner, and it's no good. That's Golick was the first miss from deep where he didn't come close. He's had a pretty good night so far for Goretti.
He had 8 points in the first quarter. He's been shut out here in the second quarter so far, but I believe that may have been his first shot attempt of the quarter.
I think what he should do is take the ball fake and take off for the bucket. They're not looking for it. Goretti is inbounds. Jalen Smith ties up everybody inside if they're trying to get it in.
Symbol shoots over Smith. Wow. Nice putback by Blakeney.
Cuts it back to 3 again. Now 1 minute and 30 seconds to go in the first half. St. Joe leads 26-23. Bishop with the ball outside. Goes to the top. Looks for Crawley. Back to Bishop. Inside to Jalen. Big jumper. Top of the key. No good. Goretti with the rebound to Golick. Josh Mack is number 4 for Goretti. And they're taking their time. Down by 3. I still think they might try to get it in the hands of Golick. He's a pretty good shooter. Not that Blakeney isn't. Inside, trying to move on Jalen Smith. Gets it over him. Nice shot.
Nice move there
by Abdul.
Looked like Jalen had him pinned under the backboard. He took a half a step back out to the outside and little soft baby hook right in the basket.
He's every bit of 6'8", Gary. I mean, if Jalen is 6'10". There's the jumper outside.
Bishop.
Myers got the assist, and Bishop hits another one. It's 28-25.
Bishop now has 14 points.
Mount St. Joe leads. 30 seconds to go. Inside, beautiful move, doesn't fall.
They're calling goaltending. might want to take a look at that. That ball rolled across the rim. It came off before Jalen made contact with the backboard, but they gave the hoop to Golick. Just 2 possessions ago, I think Joe DeBlasi said, if I were Golick, I'd put the ball on the floor and go to the hole. Voila. He does it, and he gets a couple of points.
Well, you know, if you can get Jalen in any kind of foul trouble and get him off the floor, as you pointed out in pregame, when Mount St. Joe lost in the MIAAs to John Carroll in overtime by 1 point, it's because Jalen wasn't available for bulk of the fourth quarter and some of the third quarter when he left with an injury. And when he's not on the floor, it's a factor. And, you know, I'm surprised sometimes when a coach sees that you can drive on somebody and you want to try to get him in foul trouble, do it as often as you can. You get that guy off the floor, it'll change the game. By the way, it's 24 seconds to go in the first half. Mount St. Joe clings now to a 1-point lead, 28-27 over St. Maria Goretti.
It's been a fairly clean game with regards to fouls. Only 8 fouls called in this basketball game, 5 on St. Joe, 3 on Goretti. With just 24 seconds, no one's going to the bonus in this half. So let the players play.
Good crowd on hand, very good crowd on hand. They're already standing on each side of the baseline where they can. And something is being reviewed.
Yes, they're reviewing that goaltending call. I'm glad they're getting some use out of it. They have almost an entire section taken up with the equipment to review the call. So the officials have a monitor at the scorer's table. And I guess we'll see if this basket by Golick gets reversed.
Every time I hear his name, I feel like saying Mike and Mike. But it's not Mike and Mike anymore, even on ESPN. It's
Mike Greenberg and Mike Golick. But no, what a great show that was for years.
Yeah, Greeny has gone to greener pastures, they say. He's going to be doing something else on network TV, as I understand it. We've made this comment a few times that when the officials are checking the replay, I'm just glad they're not going to New York like the NFL does. Gary, I don't know if we're going to be able to get to him today, but as we said earlier, University of Maryland coach Mark Turgeon is in the crowd, and if there's a way we can access him, we'll try to get him up here for an interview with us. Meanwhile, they're really taking a hard look at this. And, of course, in any sport, that one bucket can make a difference in the ball game. So they got to get it right.
I'm a fan of replay, Joe, but if it takes this long to discern whether the naked eye was right or wrong, I'd say stay with the original call was.
Yeah, I'm waiting for baseball one of these days to call balls and strikes automatically. I mean, the plate umpire still stays where he is. He wears a headset, and into his ear they say it was a ball, it was a strike, and he puts his arm up, it was a strike, and and on and on.
And then we'll see him be the one that argues, kicks the dirt.
turn around and say, what was that call? And you're right, Gary. This is a very long replay.
We'll give you the answer probably about halftime of the second game tonight.
And the way it's going right now, we can make it a quiz. What do you think, Larry Dukes of Social Red Dog Media, with us tonight? If we could run a prize, maybe they could make this call quicker. Or maybe we could just...
All right, the headsets have come off.
Let's go to the crowd like they do on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Who got the shot?
They're going to tell both head coaches first.
And, of course, we're across court, so we can't even hear what's going on. We know as much as you and the viewing audience knows. Again, it's 24 seconds to go in the first half. Mount St. Joe leads 28-27.
At the moment, pending the review. And part of the delay, Joe, I guess, when they look at that, whatever decision they make, they also are reviewing the clock to find out when the play officially stopped and to reset the game clock possibly.
The official scorer there is Bob Barzak from Loyola Bakefield. He's been doing it for many, many years. And, of course, the late Jerry Savage was the scorekeeper for probably 30 years when his team wasn't playing.
Joe, they took the basket off the board. So Golek, he'll lose out on a couple of points there. And St. Joe's lead goes from 1 to 3.
28-25, St. Joe with the lead.
Gales also have the basketball. The shot clock is off. St. Joe can hold it for the last shot if they so choose.
Must have been the right call. I didn't hear anybody squawk about it. Not one boo came from the big crowd. Okay, outside now for St. Joe.
This is Myers.
Tyree.
Gretty's back in the man-to-man. Look for Jalen Smith.
McMillan goes to the bucket, kicks it to the corner to Crawley. Crawley cuts across, goes back to the top. We got 3 seconds left. And I don't think they're going to get it off. And they don't.
Crawley tried to leave the ball back in the lane for Jalen Smith. Jalen had already gone to the glass to try and rebound. The ball was just laying there. McMillan did get to it, but wasn't enough time to get a shot off. So, Joe, our score is 28-25. Mount St. Joe leads Goretti at the end of one half. Keep talking. Joe, some stats here in the first half. James Bishop had 9 points in the second quarter and 14 for the game. He's the leading scorer for Goretti. Cimbala has 10 points. Golak has 8 points. We're going to take a quick pause. We got 9:28 until the second half gets underway. We'll be back a couple minutes before the second half gets underway. Again, our score at halftime, Mount St. Joe 28, St. Maria Goretti 25. Join back up with us in about 7 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost ready for the start of the second half. We have 39 seconds to go. Teams have returned to the floor. Halftime score is Mount St. Joe 28, St. Maria Goretti 25. Joe's just back from reviewing the official stats. What do we find out, Joe?
Can't hear you.
Joe's having little problems with his microphone.
There, Gary?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Gary, come in, Gary, come in. Earth to Gary.
All right, we're back.
Well, I don't have the official stats yet, but we will have them brought to our table shortly. I guess the main stat is that it's 28-25 Mount St. Joe leads at the half. And I'm sure you've told people we're in the first game of 2 semifinal championships. And Biff Poggi is in the building along with Mark Turgeon, University of Maryland coach. We're ready with the ball to start the second half.
Biff, obviously, the St. Francis football coach, here for that second game tonight, I'm sure.
Golick is 20. Josh Mack is number 4 to the corner to Searcy. No good.
Good look for Searcy.
And Big Jalen's got the rebound, and here comes the Gales.
Ready back in the man-to-man. They trap double team in the corner on McMillan.
Tyree Myers is number 5 at the point. Looking for a screen to Jalen to cut down the lane. Being closely guarded. Pull back step jumper is no good. Bishop kicks it out.
A lot of movement
Bishop's
there
got
by
the ball
McMillan.
now. Bishop's got the ball. Tim McDonald is number 30.
Jalen Smith with a long three-pointer, and he's fouled. Oh, my.
I wonder what Mark Turgeon thought about that one, Gary. He's sitting right at courtside.
He
Can't
says,
be more than 20 yards away right now from his new recruit.
he says we have a big man in Maryland.
They're going to need him. 31-25 St. Joe with that bucket and a chance to make it a 7-point lead. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter.
No offense to the guys on the University of Maryland roster this year, but Jalen Smith would have been the best player on their team this year. He's that good. He completes the 4-point play, stretches St. Joe's lead to 32-25. Jalen now has 12 points in the basketball game.
Blakeney's 23 for Goretti. Inside, Abdu's got it. Puts it up, it's good, and he's fouled. That's the foul they want to draw. It's on Jalen Smith.
Simla is not back down Jalen at all. He's got some nice inside moves. He's a good-looking basketball player.
Number 23, Jalen Smith from Mount St. Joseph, his first.
6:46 to play in the third quarter.
32-27. Mount St. Joe.
Simla got an adjustment from his teammate there. He was actually lined up on the wrong stripe.
And he hits the bucket to make it 32-28. Goretti won't go away. Mount St. Joe the other way. James Bishop is number 10.
I'm sure Coach Pat Clatchy would like to see his team go on a little bit of a run, get some space so they can dictate the game.
Tim McDonald high post kicks it back out. Jumper from the free throw line is no good, and Goretti has the rebound in the hands of Josh Mack.
Myers got a good look from right about the free throw line.
Abdu was open, but he kicks it over to Golick. Golick top of the key, and it's off of Goretti.
Nice play there by Tyree Myers. He poked the pass away and then off of the Goretti player on the sideline there.
If you are standing, security asks you please find a seat. Thank you.
All right, Clatchy now is using Tim McDonald on the high post. Jalen's outside, and I'd say, what's he doing outside? I wonder what Mark Turgeon thinks about that right now. Kicks it around now, cuts down to the low block. A little bit of penetration and the short jumper. It doesn't go.
Hits the rim a couple of times.
And again, Abdul has the rebound for Goretti.
St. Joe in the man-to-man. Got a good battle underneath with Smith and Simbla.
Blakeney's number 23. Golick is 20. 30 is Abdu. 5 is James Searcy. Jumper's no good. Rebound to Mount St. Joe and a foul.
That was Golick with the jumper that didn't quite make it over the front of the rim.
Pushing foul called on St. Marie Goretti's number 4, Josh Mack. That's his first personal foul. Team's second.
If you're viewing this game on Varsity Sports Network, please share the information with your friends so people know we're doing this game and the following game live. It's a Baltimore Catholic League doubleheader from Goucher College.
32-28, Mount St. Joe leads, 5:15 to go in the third quarter. James Bishop, high-scoring southpaw. Jalen Smith wants to take that shot, but he's not open. Bishop penetrates, lays it in, and good.
Nice move there by Bishop. Drove it along the baseline and did a scooping layup.
Josh Mack, number 4 the other way. Comes back out to the top, gets it to Abdul. Takes it inside. Blakeney. Blakeney's trying to get that inside shot, gets fouled. Good move. Every time I see Golick with the ball, I want to call him Mike, but his name is Prisney. Prisney Golick for Goretti. Free throw line. Blakeney hits the first of 2. It's 34-29, Mount St. Joe with 4:51 to go, third quarter. Goucher College. Goretti, dark uniforms, Mount St. Joe in white. Jalen Smith with the rebound. Bishop back to Smith. A lot of standing around right now. Nobody's hollering about it either side. Just a lot of standing around. Goretti's in that 2-3 extended zone. St. Joe's really not running much, but there's the ball's in the hands of the big man, and there he goes, and he lays it in, and it rolls out.
Similar with the block on McDonald.
And Goretti the other way, down by 5 with 4:15 to go. Layup. Nice move by number 4, Josh Mack.
That's his first basket of the basketball game.
34-31. Goretti with the rebound. They can cut into the lead some more. A lot of enthusiasm now on the Goretti bench. Coach Matt Miller urging his squad to hit that bucket. And it's a big miss from Golick. Jalen Smith from the corner. No good. Rebound right in the hands of Golick.
Teams have picked up the pace. They're hardly using any of the shot clock, getting shots off maybe a little too quick.
Golick's having trouble with his deep shot, and he's a good shooter. I say again, he should ball fake, go to the bucket, and take a short jumper. Blakeney, he misses a dunk.
Wow, he got up.
They got the ball back. This is the one that the fans watch and say, how do you miss a dunk? Well, he just did. So he just showed you how. Now he's got it at the top of the key, and he hits the deep shot, a three-pointer. And we got a tie ball game, Gary, with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Traded to 2 for 3.
Not a bad trade.
34 with 3:06 to go in the third quarter.
He's a good ball player for Goretti. And the games where they've needed him down the stretch in the playoffs, he's always showed up big. I got him down unofficially for about 8 points so far. Official score, as I said, is Bob Barzak from Loyola Blakefield. And he's doing the job that used to be held by the late, great Jerry Savage.
Yes, sirree.
Longtime coach at Loyola. St. Joe inbound the ball. Score is tied. There we go. Look for the Thunder dunk. Boom. Just that easy for a 6'10 Jalen Smith. And St. Joe gets the lead back, 36-34 with 3 minutes to go.
Jalen got loose on the breakaway. He actually eased it into the goal. Didn't do the massive slam that he may have been able to. Just made sure he got the basket.
Ready with the ball outside. Now they get it inside to Abdul. He loses the handle.
Nice defense by Smith.
Golick gets it back. Short jumper rolls out. McDonald with the rebound for Mount St. Joe. Tyree Myers, number 5, and James Bishop misses his jump shot. 36-34, 2:22 to go in the third. And a whistle. Blocking foul. Sykes comes into the game, replacing Tim McDonald. Ready inbounds the ball. Golick with the ball fake, kicks it back outside to Matt Rogers. Looks like Goretti possession. Normally on these kind of inbound plays, Golick will throw it in and then go to one corner or the other and try to get a screen from one of the guys on the block. Let's see if this happens. He comes in slowly into the lane. Now he jab steps to the corner, but he doesn't get the ball. It's kicked back out to Matt Rogers. Now it's in the hands of Blakeney. And the ball is stolen by Mount St. Joe's number 1, Kendall McMillan. Bishop with it. Smith misses. Sykes rebounds.
Altered Smith's shot there.
Watch Bishop take his jumper. He's looking for it. He wants it. He kicks it inside to the big man. He got fouled.
Nice play there by Jalen. Got his feet set.
2-point game, 1:41 to go in the third. Mount St. Joe defending MIAA Conference and Baltimore Catholic League champions. Only 36-34 2-point lead. Jalen Smith to the free throw line for Coach Pat Clatchy's team. He hits it. We talked in the pregame, Gary, about the teams that have the most Catholic League championships. Mount St. Joe has 7, Calvert Hall has 7, and St. Francis has 7.
Quick math, that's 21.
3 times 7. All right, Smith for another free throw. He made the first, and he makes the second. A nice touch. 38-34, Mount St. Joe. A little bit of pressure now on the ball by 33, Crawley.
Jalen now has 8 points in the third quarter, starting to assert himself.
Josh Mack with the ball. To James Searcy for Goretti outside, guarded by Bishop. Josh Mack is number 4, looking for his jumper. It's not there. St. Joe's playing tough defense now, calling out their switches. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. To the corner. Golick makes the ball fake. Short jumper's good.
Nice move by Golick.
That's what he's got to do. He's very athletic. He cuts it to 2 with 1 minute to go now in the third quarter. 38-36 Mount St. Joe. Outside. McMillan. Bishop. You still got to get it into Jalen, especially now with those.
Nice catch.
Oh, there it is.
Joe, did you see that catch?
I mean, Abdul's off the floor. You got to get it inside to him every trip now.
That ball was thrown beyond Jalen with those long arms. He reached out, picked it out with one hand, and sprung up for a dunk.
St. Joe a 4-point lead, and Goretti's James Searcy had a chance to get a bucket there, but he didn't. And on the other end, Bishop in transition scores the layup. It's 42-36 now with 20 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Big
Pretty
swing
good,
there. Big possession here for Goretti.
Good sequence for St. Joe.
They hung tough. They're down by 6 right now. They don't want it to be any bigger going into the fourth quarter.
8 seconds to go. They're going to get one shot. Nice touch by 14, which Briggs McLean. He's probably in there to spot up the way Boys Latin always puts Sam Grace on the floor. I thought he had a nice stroke there, but it didn't go.
Goretti's going to get bailed out. Will Sykes was caught on the floor, and Rogers tumbled over top of him, so Sykes was called for the foul. Let's give Goretti possession back with
they can get a shot off. 2
seconds.
42-36. They need this bucket.
Golick's going to trigger it in from under the basket.
Jumper, no good putback. Let's see what the call is.
I believe the red light was on.
They're going to have to look at this one.
Coach Miller is more upset that Mack was not a whistle. It wasn't a foul whistle on Mack as he attempted the three-pointer. No basket.
It's waved off. Quarter ends, and Mount St. Joe holds a 42-36 lead at the end of 3 quarters, trying to defend their Catholic League championship.
Joe, Mount St. Joe scored exactly 14 points in each quarter to give them their 42 points. It was very consistent. And that quarter there was all Jalen Smith and James Bishop. Smith had 10 points in the quarter, and Bishop had 4.
I remember the first game we covered them back in early December. Put the caption on the story, the dynamic duo, Jalen Smith and James Bishop. And as we mentioned, Jalen Smith is going to be going to the University of Maryland next year. Coach Mark Turgeon is here. He'd rather be at the Big Ten tournament. And he's watching his recruit. James Bishop is only a junior. And he's a good one. Once again, we start the 4th quarter. Mount St. Joe 42, St. Maria Goretti 36.
Joe, the officials did review that last tip-in. I think it was pretty clear that the red light was on before the ball was tipped in the basket. I think Coach Miller, his better argument was the one about the foul on the 3-point attempt.
4th quarter will start. St. Joe's going to have the ball.
It's a big possession for the Gales. With that 6-point lead, they can really stretch it out a little bit here.
Also, Crawley will get the ball to bring it up for Mount St. Joe, thrown in by Kendall McMillan. Bishop, Sykes, and Jalen Smith on the floor. Jalen almost set a screen outside. And a whistle and a foul. And it's going to be Goretti possession. An illegal screen was called on Will Sykes.
Through 3 quarters unofficially, Jalen Smith with 16 points, James Bishop with 13 for St. Joe. Golick has 10 for Goretti. Blakeney has 9, and Abdul Simala with 13. Those are unofficial numbers.
Sounds like you're calling in election results yet to be certified. Blakeney's going to go to the line. He's going to have a 1-and-1.
That's your business, Joe.
Oh, it's everybody's now for Goretti. Blakeney at the free throw line. This team's down by 6. Now they're down by 5. He makes the first of a 1-and-1. I would look for Goretti to throw a press on him. Second one spins out. Matt Miller says it's his ball and can't understand why it's not. He's got to be careful over there that he doesn't give the referees too much guff. He's a very active coach. Pat Tracci takes 2 steps off the bench, sits back down like the old pro that he is. Carrying a 5-point lead for St. Joe. They got the ball. Bishop shoots the jumper.
There's a whistle. I believe it's off the ball. Jalen Smith ended up on the floor behind the basket. I think they called for a foul off the ball, pushing Jalen to the floor.
42-37. Mount St. Joe still has that lead at 5. 7:22 to go now in regulation. Second game will pit John Carroll against St. Francis. The winner of these 2 semifinals tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock here at Goucher for the Catholic League Championship. That's Bishop. It's good. Nice shot. Makes it 44-37.
Bishop's very good with that little floater. He gets just a little bit of space.
Real good move on the other end by Josh Mack. He's a small guy. He's not somebody you'd call a Mack truck. But he got the bucket. 44-39. St. Joe taking their time with the ball. I love it with the 2 big guys on the low block right now, Sykes and Jalen. You see Sykes set a screen for Jalen. He'll be wide open. If he does, Sykes wants the ball. Jalen could also set a screen for him. Meanwhile, Jalen wants that outside jumper and takes it, and it spins out. Goretti gets the rebound with a chance to cut into this 5-point St. Joe lead.
That was a rare miss for Jalen when he's been that wide open.
Yeah, but he should be taking the ball inside at this stage of the game. Golick outside, number 20 for Goretti. 15 is Matt Rogers. And another whistle. St. Joe's going to be called for a foul. It's going to be on number 10, Bishop, James Bishop.
Second personal foul, team's 8th.
So Blakeney's going to go to the line. If he makes them both, he can cut it to 3. Gets the first. Don't go away. We got a packed house for game 1. 44-40, 6:22 in regulation.
Coach Matt Miller's working his bench.
Jalen Smith pulls down a rebound on the missed free throw. We're down to 6:15 now in regulation. St. Joe leads by 4. Bishop outside with Crawley. Crawley has gotten a ton of playing time tonight for a freshman. Knows his way around, sees the floor well. Bishop has it. Looking inside, got a big guy on each low block. Abdul anticipated it, kicked it away. Goretti gets it back, and Blakeney has it. Top of the key, he's going to travel to the bucket. Tries to go up over Jalen and misses. Goretti gets the rebound and a foul. Well, you talk about not being afraid to take on a 6'10 guy.
He wasn't afraid, but Jalen was there to meet him and block that shot. What a big play for Jalen. The foul came on the follow-up.
Similar goes to the line, though, and they still got a chance to cut it to 2 if he can make both shots.
Yeah, we've seen Blakeney go to that hole aggressively.
It's the first one.
Substitution for St. Joe checking in number 10, Sean Edwards. Substitution for Mount St. Joseph checking in number 5, Kyrie Myers.
Abdul Simbala, a junior, on the line for Goretti, can cut it to 2, and he does. 44-42, don't go away. 5:47 to go in regulation.
I wouldn't dare go away, Joe.
Bishop outside, guarded by Golick. Crawley cuts through, comes out the other side. Kyrie Myers, he can shoot the ball too. Number 5 for St. Joe. Here's Jalen, there inside, wide open. There's a beautiful play on the backdoor cut by Kendall McMillan.
Good look by Jalen. Defense floated towards him, and they just lost track of McMillan, who was under the hoop.
Here's Golick. Abdu. St. Joe's playing pretty good defense right now. Goretti needs to set a screen to pop somebody open. 10 is Edwards.
We're under 5 minutes
And he's
to play.
going inside, and up goes Abdu with the bucket. 46-44 with 4:51 to go in regulation. Mount St. Joe with a 2-point lead.
Goretti calls a timeout. As you said, Coach Miller, he's been very active up and down that sideline, working the officials, substituting freely. Coach Pat Clatchy, just like he's been there many times before. The Pat can get animated, but right now he's seems to have this game going the way he wants it to go.
He's just got to be saying, Jalen, get inside. Sykes, if he's still in the ball game, but I don't think he is. I think they subbed for him. Let the big guy set the screen for the bigger guy and get him open inside. But I got to say, I got to give a lot of credit to Abdul Simbala. He's played a great defensive game tonight for Goretti. And if you see those two side by side under the basket, if Jalen's 6'10", he's got to be every bit of 6'8".
Sykes has been so effective this year for the Gales against bigger lineups, but Goretti is a smaller lineup, and you have to have somebody on the court that's quicker and guards some of those smaller players that can get to the hoop and drive.
Larry Dukes, Social Red Dog Media, with our presentation tonight, our partner, Varsity Sports Network, bringing you this game. I talked to Larry outside. I said, by the time the second game starts, we should have a big screen out on the parking lot to let who's ever coming up that can't get in the gym see it on the screen. Maybe next time. All right, St. Joe with the ball in a 2-point lead, and it's 4:44 to go in the regulation. Great defense by Goretti right there. That was Edwards. He almost knocked it away, but St. Joe has it. There's the low block. There's the shot. He misses.
Great double team help there. Simbala had Jalen guarded on the backside, and Blakeney came down and poked the ball away. Unfortunately for Goretti, once the ball settled back in St. Joe's hands, there was a foul.
The foul was called on Rashawn Edwards, a junior for Goretti. And again, on this inbounds play, Bishop normally swings around the other side and tries to get open once the ball's thrown in.
Joe, they actually called that foul on Cimbala. It was his fourth. They had to pull him out of the game. That's a big loss for Goretti.
Oh, now you got to get it inside to Jalen right away. Right away, you got to get it to Jalen.
We'll see how long Coach Matt Miller can leave Cimbala on the bench.
And there he goes, and that's easy as pie for him on a guy that's only 6'4" instead of a guy 6'8" guarding him.
And right away on cue, Cimbala's back at the scorer's table. I guess Coach Miller's going to take his chances with him in the game as long as he can keep him in.
Reddy just got a put back by Blakeney to cut the lead again to 2 points. 48-46 St. Joe, 4 minutes to go in regulation. He's going to have to take a chance and tell Abdul that he just can't foul. Because if you got to get it to Smith again right now, you got to get it to him. You should just jut out to the foul line and jut back in.
Even when Cimbala gets back on the court, you know St. Joe's going to go to Smith in an attempt to get that fifth foul.
A 2-3 extended zone by Goretti, and right now it's working.
Under 7 on the shot clock.
He got to shoot. Takes it inside. Jalen's got it. Makes the layup.
Nice pass from McMillan.
All day long. It's 50-46.
Now the Gales are back on a break after a missed layup on the other end by Mack.
And Jalen changed that shot. Here's Bishop, but he misses everything, which is very unusual. And Goretti has it back, trailing by 4, 50-46. 3 minutes to go now in regulation.
Joe, I thought St. Joe could have been a little bit more patient on that possession. They had the 4-point lead. They came down and hoisted up a long jumper.
Golick can shoot. He dishes it back. Josh Mack back. There's Golick. There's a shot. No good. Looked good, but it spun out.
Smith tipped the ball.
Boy, you talk about a big one, Gary. If that goes in, it's a 1-point game. Bishop with the ball. Again, you got to give it to Jalen Smith. He's on the high post. Bishop outside.
Matt Rogers is guarding Smith.
Can't leave Bishop open either. Smith way outside. Kicks it to Myers. Nice defensive play by Josh Mack. Knocked it out of the hands of Tyree Myers. 2:12 now to go in regulation. Mount St. Joe 50. And St. Maria Goretti 46.
We'll remind everyone you're watching the Baltimore Catholic League semifinals.
St. Joe inbounds. Bishop from the top of the key. Oh my goodness, it's not like him to miss everything.
He had to rush that, Joe. There was shot clock was expiring. Didn't get his feet set. 2:06.
If I'm Matt Miller, I want to get Golick open for a 3. Let's see what they do. Abdul is in the game, but closely guarded by Jalen Smith. Golick to Blakeney. Blakeney with the jumper. No good. Smith with the rebound.
Cimbala is back on the court.
Got to keep a good eye on the clock now. It's 1:44 to go. 1:40 in the game in regulation. 50-46 Mount St. Joe leads Goretti. To the bucket. Lost the handle. Put back though. What's the big guy? Can Goretti answer now? We're down to 126. It's a 6-point St. Joe lead. 52-46. Goretti needs a bucket real bad. That ball goes up on Jalen and misses, and St. Joe's got the ball. They're going to definitely take their time on this possession.
They fouled Bishop. Goretti still has 2 more fouls to give. They've only got 5 team fouls. That was a 6th. So they're gonna have to foul one more time before they can even put the Gales in the bonus, send them to the line.
Oh. Ready in a man now, trying to pressure the inbounds pass from the baseline. Bishop's got it. Crawley's open on the other side of the floor. They don't see him. Kendall McMillan cuts through 2 people. Bishop is wide open. Crawley's wide open.
And Bishop is fouled. He's going to go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1.
We're down to a minute in regulation. 52-46 Mount St. Joe.
Joe, this game has been strange in a way that there hasn't really been a run by either team. It's been a close game. St. Joe at 6 points, maybe their biggest lead. I'm not sure. But tight ball game all the way through.
Goretti gets within 2, and then St. Joe pulls back away, and Bishop misses the first of a 1-and-1.
Big miss.
Less than a minute to go now. 55 seconds in regulation. Blakeney. He wants it. He's hungry. He got fouled.
It's a 2-possession game with the 3-point shooting arsenal that Goretti possesses. They're not out of this game. You're going to have to keep working hard on defense and getting the stops.
Waiting to see what happened with Abdu. He's not on the floor for Goretti. And they certainly need him. I don't know. Not sure if he fouled out or not. He may have. We don't have official stats, but he's not in the game right now. And it's only a minute to go. Blakeney hits the first. In fact, it's 49 seconds left. St. Joe 52-47. Goretti can cut it to 4, and they desperately will need a steal on the inbounds possession from St. Joe. Second shot's no good, though. That's costly also. St. Joe in the
trapped
corner.
In the corner.
Timeout.
Clatchy calls the timeout. 44.9 seconds to play. Our score is Mount St. Joe 52, St. Maria Goretti 47. Now it comes down to St. Joe can hit their free throws. They're going to advance.
Yep, Goretti's going to have to foul if they can't intercept the pass on the inbounds possession. 5 down. Anything can happen. Goretti's a team that does not quit. They're showing the fan base and our viewers that they deserve to be here in this semifinal. 5 points away from the lead with 44 seconds left to advance to the championship game.
And the winner of this game will play the winner of our second game, which you can watch right here on Varsity Sports Network. It'll be St. Francis. They were top ranked in the area for most of the season against John Carroll, who is currently ranked number 1. Great game there. What do you see in that game, Joe?
Fans that are here tonight, Gary, are seeing a McDonald's All-American here for Jalen Smith. They stay for the second game. They'll see Emmanuel Quickly, McDonald's All-American from John Carroll. And, of course, as we mentioned, 2 of the top 10 all-time scorers in career points in the Baltimore Catholic League, Jalen Smith and Emmanuel Quickly. All right, St. Joe from the corner.
McMillan will inbounds it.
Probably throw it into jail, and that's a safe pass. He gets it to Crawley.
The freshman.
And it rolled out of bounds. And Matt Miller can't believe it. And let's see if they look at this one, or at least confer.
They are going to look at it. No reason not to. 41 seconds to play.
Clatchy huddles his team up, and they are going, not to New York, but they're going right up in the booth here. Not our booth.
Going to Towson.
And not Phil Booth, who played 4 great years for Mount St. Joe and plays for Villanova, and he's back, is back from his hand injury. And there's a guy that played at Mount St. Joe with a chance potentially to be on the NCAA championship team this season, Phil Booth. St. Joe's turned out a lot of big-time players.
He's already won a national championship 2 years ago.
Well, he gets a chance to do it for the second time. Maybe. 52-47, 41 points to go, 41 seconds to go in regulation. St. Joe has committed 10 fouls in the game, so anytime Goretti goes to the line now, it's going to be a double bonus. And on the other side, it's a 1-and-1 if Mount St. Joe goes to the line, other than, of course, on a shooting foul.
If you're visiting Varsity Sports Network for the first time, we want to point out that we have the most comprehensive listing of area scores, schedules, and standings. All sports. That content is completely free. Of course, we are a subscription site for our stories and videos, but it's only $4.99 a month. It's pennies a day for what we believe is the best high school sports coverage in this market. And again, we are dabbling more and more in this live streaming. This is the first of 3 games we're bringing you this weekend from the Baltimore Catholic League tournament. We'll have the second game of the doubleheader tonight and the championship game tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Referees are still reviewing this one. I think the video should be on a big screen to get a better look at it. This is something else we can suggest for ways to improve. And Gary, if you look over at the entrance to this gym, I'd say there's about 100, 110 people standing that couldn't get into the floor itself and into the seats, watching from behind the baseline to our right.
They're hoping, and I'm sure there are people outside hoping that some of the fans that are here for this first game will depart and open up some seats and some room in the building.
These referees are taking so long, I thought they were going to confession over there.
Well, it is Lent.
52-47.
Grady will get the basketball back.
Matt Miller his assertion was correct. They got the ball. Blakeney inbounds. We're down to 40 seconds. They got to have a bucket. There's Golick looking for help. Blakeney. Edwards. Blakeney. He misses. That was a big one, but they get it back and a foul. I think it's on James Bishop. No, it's not, but it is on St. Joe with the push. It's on Crawley. Josh Mack will go to the line for Goretti. 27 seconds now to go in regulation.
He's got 2 shots.
It's the first. 4-point game. I'd look for smothering defense on the inbounds pass.
If he connects on this one, it's back to a 1-possession game, and
he
he
hits
does.
It. Reddy brought sophomore Matt Rogers into the game to try to pressure the inbounds pass on the free throw line, and he may have, and if they got it in time, you're always safe when you get it into a 6'10 player, and Goretti has to foul, and they foul James Bishop. 23 seconds left. St. Joe leads 52-49 in a Baltimore Catholic League semifinal championship matchup. Winner plays the winner of John Carroll and St. Francis tomorrow. The John Carroll St. Francis game coming up at 7:30 tonight following this one. Bishop at the line.
It's a one-on-one situation. He missed the last time he went to the line in a one-on-one.
He's had a little bit of trouble from the line. Hits it.
The lead is again 4 points.
He's been clutch all year, especially in the fourth quarter for Mount St. Joseph.
That's big because, again, it's a 2-possession game with 23.3 seconds to play.
No good. Goretti with the rebound. 4-point lead, 20 seconds left. They got to hurry. Jumper.
Smack.
No good. Good rebound in there by Edwards. They can get another one off. Blakeney. He misses, and Jalen's got it. And a foul.
Jalen's going to go to the line with 8.7 seconds. That makes it awfully tough to make up a 4-point deficit.
Blakeney had an open shot and a nice stroke and a chance on the big 3 there to cut the lead to 1, but it did not go. In this kind of a situation, McDonald's All-American on the line, 8 seconds to go. He knows he wants to play in another championship game tomorrow. Jalen Smith, I'd say he's going to be smooth as silk.
If he hits both of these, he will be playing tomorrow.
Rolls around and out, and Goretti gets it. They got to really hurry, though. 5 seconds left. Blakeney jams it. 3.4 seconds to go, and now it's a 2-point game. 3.4 seconds to go. Mount St. Joe 53, St. Maria Goretti 51. Timeout on the floor.
Jalen had a chance to ice it right there. He missed. Blakeney came up the other way, did not force a 3-pointer, went right to the hole.
You know, in the last 30 seconds, if you got Bishop and Smith going to the free throw line, and they miss one each, which could have sealed it. So the wrapper's not on the package yet.
Joe, I noticed that Cymbala just checked in at the scorer's table. He still only has 4 fouls. I'm not sure why he's been off the court the last 2 minutes, but Coach Matt Miller is bringing him back in now.
Well, I guess they're going to try to get it to him, but maybe he got hurt. We don't really know. They're on the far court, and we're way on the other side. And they need a steal, like, immediately. If they don't get it, they have to foul as quick as possible. It'd be pretty hard to do one or the other with just 3.4 seconds left. St. Joe holding a 2-point lead. St. Joe should just let Jalen get top of the key, from the top of the key to the half-court line, and catch this inbounds throw. And if I had to throw it, I would just throw it high to him toward half-court, and that will run the 3 seconds off if you can keep the ball.
The players
down.
are set to go, but the officials are looking at something on the video screen. I guess they were checking the time, but no changes are made. We're going to bring the ball in.
Abdul's pressuring the ball at the baseline, and they get it in, and the foul. 2.6 seconds to go now.
Once again, it'll be Jalen Smith for a 1-and-1.
He's got to go to the line now with tremendous amount of confidence. We talked to him after his performance, his 36-point performance against Spalding in the quarterfinal, and he said he really wants to get to the Sunday championship game, come out with 2 championships back-to-back before he goes to college. And he's got a chance to put it away right now, without a doubt. He's got to make them both.
Last year, St. Joe swept the Catholic League and the MIAA. So if he can win this weekend, it would give him 3 in the last 2 years.
There you go.
Stretches the lead back to 3, 54-51 with 2.1 seconds, 2.6 seconds. Smith hits this. As they say, the hay is in the barn.
And the ball was in the basket.
The win is in the books. But he misses.
Gone out. It's
Goretti calls a quick timeout. 2.1 seconds. The Gales of Goretti will have a shot at a 3-pointer to force overtime.
And now, I guess the great Yogi Berra would say it. Yogi Berra, not Yogi Berra. A Yankee catcher, all-time great. It ain't over till it's over, and it still ain't over.
Not yet.
I know. I got to keep all them down.
Joe DeBlasi's going to go down on the floor.
I got to get to the floor.
Get some interviews after post-game. So I'll finish the call. As you said, it's 2.1 seconds to play. St. Joe leads by 3. Goretti will have the basketball. They'll have to go the length of the court and get off a 3-point attempt. I assume they'll try to set something up to free Blakeney or Golick, their 2 best 3-point shooters. Golick is going to inbounds the ball at the baseline. Tim McDonald is guarding him. Simbola gets the pass. His turnaround 3-pointer does not go, and St. Joe holds on. They defeat Goretti 54-51 and advance to tomorrow's Baltimore Catholic League championship game. Mount St. Joe will play the winner of tonight's second semifinal between St. Francis and John Carroll. That's our final score, 54-51. We will be back shortly before 7:30 for pregame conversation about the second semifinal. Thank you for watching Varsity Sports Network's presentation of the Baltimore Catholic League semifinals. Again, our final score, Mount St. Joe 54, St. Maria Goretti 51. Thank you.